right, so we are here with Idletron, right? Welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. Introduce yourself and tell me what you do in the band.
What's up? My name's Jake. I sing.
I'm Martin. I play guitar.
Jason Schultz, lead and rhythm guitar.
Aaron Grove, drums.
Okay. Where you guys are from?
Northwest Indiana. I think pretty much all of us, right?
Yep.
Northwest Indiana. Yeah, so we're like right over the border.
All right, so tell me what led to the formation of Idletron.
So Idle Throne was formed in late 2018. It was Martin and I kind of wanted to collaborate and do something. Our other bands at the time that we were in, was still in, weren't really doing anything. So we wanted to, put something together and kind of pursue a little bit more classic style, do a little bit different stuff. We were playing more prog metal and prog rock, so we wanted to do something that was kind of a thrash, power metal, traditional metal sort of vein. So started jamming in late 2018 and put some songs together, and then these guys joined along the way, and we were able to write a bunch of songs and kind of culminate that in our first album that's coming out in a week.
You've mentioned you guys were in other bands. What other projects are you in?
So I'm in a band called Mind's Horizon. Actually, Jake is in that band as well. It's kind of more of a studio project right now, but it's kind of like a progressive death metal band. So a little bit longer songs and, down tune, that type of stuff. Jake actually does guttural vocals in that. And then I'm also in the band Wraith. So been playing a lot lately locally and kind of all over the place. Just put a record out last year that's doing really well. So it's been keeping me busy.
Right. Anyone else playing other bands?
Well, like Jason was saying, I'm in Mind's Horizon as well. Same kind of idea, prog metal. Just actually do gutturals in that too, so it's kind of a different sense in there. And then other than that, I just was always like in the hardcore scene. So this is actually the first band that's kind of like a traditional heavy metal singing. Yeah, and not just pig squealing for the first time. So.
Yeah, and then I used to play, well, I technically still do play in the band Farwatch, which is a progressive rock and metal band. But that band's been on indefinite hiatus for a number of years now. So Idlethrone's my only thing at the moment.
And then I'm in Axios, which was actually the band that was supposed to play tonight. But we made it happen. We got the Idlethrone guys in here to cover it.
Yep,
Take it.
All right.
Yeah, we're stoked to be here.
What did you want the Idletron to sound like?
So, so when Martin and I kind of came together, my big influence I want to bring in was a lot of more of the Bay Area thrash stuff. I'm a huge fan of, Forbidden and Heathen, Exodus, Testament specifically, and obviously all the big bands, Megadeth, Metallica, that type of thing. So I wanted to bring that influence in. And then Martin definitely was coming at it from more of kind of a power metal perspective.
I'm the power metal guy. But when I say power metal, I mean more like U.S. power metal, Vicious Rumors, Crimson Glory, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I also love all the Bay Area thrash stuff that Jason does. So
yeah.
it was cool to kind of get back to that because that's my roots.
Yeah, so it was kind of like we met in the middle with that sound, and then from our previous experience in different bands, there's some progressive stuff that kind of came through there. And then Martin and my background is both as lead guitar players is a lot of like the shrapnel guys, neoclassical stuff. Yep. Paul Gilbert, Cacophony, Racer X, Jason Becker, many more, Marty Friedman, all that stuff. So we kind of had that in common. So it was cool. It was just kind of a mix of all those styles, and then obviously we all come from the same cloth of the Judas Priests and the Iron Maidens and a lot of the classic metal, except that type of stuff too. So it's all kind of bled into the sound.
How do you guys maintain being in so many projects and finding time and putting all the effort into it?
We all,
lots and lots of caffeine.
I think
Tons of caffeine.
I'd say it's because we all love it. Like, it's funny, so I'm 31. I just turned 31 early this year. And I think I'm the oldest member of the band. And it's kind of funny to me because, as time has gone on, I've had a lot of friends and peers who kind of fell off the music scene. They just get busy with other things, families, jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And not to say I'm not busy with all that stuff, but I just love it. If I'm not working my job, my day job, I'm doing this. I'm working on music, I'm working on songs, and luckily, and I think that's kind of what separates us from even a lot of people that we've maybe all collectively played with in the past. Everyone loves it. We all approach it with the same sort of tenacity. We all want to be doing this. I mean, it's a Tuesday night in Chicago. No one would rather be anywhere else.
Yeah.
We'd all rather be here doing this. So.
And the storm is approaching.
The storm is approaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me personally, music is my day job, so it's just a matter of prioritizing and keeping track of everything. But it gives me a little bit more free time to do more things than somebody with a regular 9-to-5 job would do.
So how long did it take you to write the album?
Oh wow,
Good question.
Well, so yeah, it was interesting. So it was kind of a process, I would say, in late 2018. Sorry, Martin and I kind of convened and we wrote what would become Sacred Fire, The Labyrinth, and Power and Control. So that's like 3 of the 10 songs that are on the record. And then the plan was we formed the band because we wanted to play shows, and then COVID happened, and then that sidelined us. So we started jamming with Aaron.
Gears and started
Yeah.
working on writing
Songs.
album.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As many songs as we can. So
Yeah.
then we found ourselves probably maybe early.
So I would say by the time like we got shut down for COVID, we had everything except for Unholy and maybe Last Full Measure written.
Yeah.
Like here, more or less, maybe not completely fleshed out, but roughly.
So I'd say probably 2 years from beginning to end, but that was also finding the right people because, we knew that we wanted to work with Aaron if he was available, and he was, luckily. It took us a while to fill the bass position and then also to get Jake aboard, but once we did, it went relatively quickly, so.
The album, it's called The Sibylline Age, right? What is the meaning behind this title?
Yeah, so we were trying to think of what the theme and like the name of the big kind of epic song on the album is. So the last track is like 11 and a half minutes long, and it kind of harkens back to a lot of our roots in the prog scene, prog rock, prog metal, Symphony X, Dream Theater, a lot of those bands that kind of influenced us. And when we were trying to come up with a concept, we kind of kicked around different ideas for a story, and I had this idea about like this journey to the top of this mountain to visit this oracle to try to solve all the world's problems, right? And if you start looking into oracles, you learn about like the Sibylline oracles and what that all is and everything. And I just thought that was really cool imagery. So when we were working with our cover artist, Mark Erskine, I kind of told him that concept, and he came up with the album art and just blew it out of the water. It was awesome. So from that, it was kind of funny. We all collectively sat down and wrote the lyrics for that song. So like I have a verse, Martin has a verse, Jake has a verse, that's kind of how we wrote it. And it basically just kind of tells that story I just outlined. So it's cool. It's like a cool, for me, example of like the artwork reflecting the music, reflecting the lyrics, and it's all kind of a big full picture, so that kind of informed the name of it.
Great.
Felt right.
Can you talk about any other songs on the album? Maybe each one of you can take one song and talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
So
go ahead,
pick your favorites.
Whatever you want to
Go
talk
ahead.
about.
I guess one of my favorites is Power and Control, for sure. And that's just because it was the first song that I got to basically spearhead lyrically wise and melody wise. As they said before, Power and Control was one of the 3 songs they had fleshed out when I joined the band. For our EP, Proof of Life, that was also the 3rd song that we wrote for that. When I first came in there, the other songs had lyrics and everything, and it was the first time I got to actually write something and be melodic instead of trying to just write something heavy and then, over it. So it was so it was a really different pace and a different setting for me, but I really enjoyed it, and I come to find that's like one of my favorite songs to sing and one of the best ones live so far. So Power and Control is definitely one of the best songs in my opinion there.
Excellent.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Unholy Warrior. So that song was one of the last songs that was written for the album, and it holds significance to me because it was a song that I wrote myself, but we needed an opening song. And everything I had written for the album up to that point was more of in that power metal vein, like the Labyrinth and a lot of the other riffs in the songs that are more like that. But that song's very thrashy and very in your face, so I thought it was cool that I was able to pull something out like that, and then we had actually ended up using it. So yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I mean, I love all the songs on the album, but the song Raven's Blade for me is particularly kind of a special one. I like that song because it was like very organic the way that was written. I think I was getting all my gear together to go to practice on a Sunday. That's when we practice, and I came up with the intro riff for that. And I just showed the guys, I was like, hey, I came up with a riff 10 minutes ago, let me show you guys. And it just kind of like went from there, and before we knew it, we had half a song. And then when it came time to do the lyrics for that, I had this story, this concept for the song about like this killer car. It's almost kind of like an evil Knight Rider sort of thing, meets Christine, Stephen King. And it was so cool that Jake and I kind of collaborated on like, hey man, this has got to be really theatrical, like bring out your inner King Diamond, that's kind of what we're trying to do. And he crushed it, and it's such a fun song. That's one of the ones, as of yet, no one's heard it, and I'm really stoked.
Correct. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's one of the songs that no one's heard that I can't wait to get out there because it's a lot of fun. It goes through a ton of different movements, but it's also, it's really theatrical, and it's got a lot of those kind of like, good cheesy vibes.
Oh,
I think,
100%, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun song. So. Great.
Excellent.
I'd say probably my favorite song on the album might actually be Crown of Fools. Crown of Fools has more of like it's more technical with the thrash element in there. So there's a lot of thought that went into the certain drum parts in that song, and it's really powerful. It's a very hit you right in the mouth, kind of a song. And it kind of progresses in a way where it shows all the little bit of flavors that we have as a band, It's got a little bit of everything in it.
Wow, so we have some material down. Who released this album for you?
So we're actually releasing this record with Stormspell Records. So I'm kind of excited about that. The owner is Stormspell Jordan. Really cool. We had a lot of really good back and forth and conversations. I sent him the album as a promo just to kind of get his opinion, because Martin actually mentioned to me, that he had seen a lot of really cool releases that he was putting out kind of in that sphere, speed metal, power metal, kind of traditional heavy metal. And after he had a chance to listen to the album, he was just so enthusiastic about it. It just felt like it was the right partnership right off the bat. So really excited for that. So yeah, we'll have physical CDs. Love to do vinyl, of course, in true fashion. It's way too long of an album to do vinyl. We'd have to do 2 LPs and
Double-sided.
It'd be crazy. That was an hour long. So
Now, you've mentioned that you sent him the album. Does that mean you recorded the record before you had a deal?
Yeah, so we did the album
Tell me about
all
that
ourselves.
process.
Yeah, so basically it was kind of a cool process. So nowadays what we tried to do, we knew we wanted to go in with a bit more of an organic sort of sound. So we didn't want to do everything just kind of processed, and we wanted to do it real. So basically we went in and recorded the drums in a studio. Aaron did the whole album in, I think, was like 2 days.
Yeah.
Did the whole album, and it turned out great. We did that in a local studio called The Nook with an engineer called Nick Nativo. I think he's out in New Lenox,
Yep.
Illinois. Did a great job. So we got the drums done, and then from there, Martin and I kind of took the process over, and we recorded guitars ourselves. So we did a lot of 1 in the morning tracking.
Set up shop in my basement, just doing the DIY studio thing.
Yeah, we did DI tracks. We all have kind of the modern tools. So I have a Kemper, he has an Axe Effects. We did all of our DI tracks, and then went through the same process with bass. We went back to the same studio. We did drums in and did the vocals with Jake. And then we had another studio day where we reamped all the guitars. So the cool thing with the album is it's very old school approach. He's playing drums. The drums aren't slammed to the grid. They aren't quantized. We did our rhythm tracks. There's 2 tracks of me on the left, 2 tracks of Martin on the right. I'm doubling Martin, Martin's doubling me. It's a very organic vocal performance from Jake. A lot of first takes on solos and stuff, or single takes, so it was really cool. And then we sent it to an engineer. He was in the band Wild Hunt. I think he since left recently, but it's an engineer named Lucas Roth. He's from Austria, and he did the mix on it. Very involved process, because we wanted to get the sound right. So it took a while. It took over a month to get the mix. But he crushed it, and we're really excited about how it sounds. So once we had kind of all that in hand, then I started the process of sending it out to prospective labels. And like I said, Jordan and Stormspell, he just was really adamant that, he really believed in it. So it seemed like it was a really good partnership for us.
How much did it cost you to put this all together?
Oh, jeez.
I think we lost track.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, if you're doing a production and you're doing it the way we did it, I mean, we saved a lot of money and time by doing it, a lot of the guitar tracking and stuff ourselves. But, after everything is said and done, when you factor in CD, mixing, mastering, the artwork, all that, geez, probably $4,000 or $5,000 for a production like that.
That's not so bad.
Not too bad.
In comparison to how things were years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, especially too, the difference is, like, if you're booking a lot of bands, I think at a certain level, right, you're like living in a studio, or you're taking a month off from whatever you're doing, or maybe that is your job and you're living in the studio and recording and you're doing all that. That'd be cool. I'm sure we'd all love to do that, but the realities of kind of our lives and everything dictated we couldn't really do it that way. So, where we could, we I think made strides to record things the way we want them to come back, the way we want to hear them, as big as possible. So
what audience do you hope to reach?
So I think there's a really huge community right now that is loving kind of the throwback sound. They're loving the bands that are, they're taking a modern approach but they're also referencing, lovingly I would say, a lot of classic bands and classic sounds, and I think it's great. It's really cool to see. There's so many cool bands out there that are kind of, doing that sound, like, for instance, like we're playing with Solicitor tonight. They're awesome, and they're kind of doing that. Same with Traveler is another band that we love, and we're playing with actually in August at Reggie's. So, I think there's a lot of overlap there where I think fans of that style are going to like what we're doing, but then we also hope to capture a lot of fans that, maybe like the harder edge stuff, the thrashier side of the band. And then really, for us too, like I love like the Symphony X sort of progressive metal style too. So I'm hoping that some of those fans will see what we're doing and they'll say, oh, hey, that's cool. Like I see what they did there, or oh, that's a cool guitar part, or that's a cool drum part, or whatever. So, we're trying to appeal to a lot of different styles and genres that we like, and not really hold ourselves to just one thing, in the hopes that it's going to capture a lot of prospective fans and a lot of interest.
Cool. What's the feedback so far? And I have everyone speak.
So far, from what I've shown people, even from just the EP and the singles, have just been amazing. People are loving, especially when we released Unholy Warrior and White Wolf as singles. I had nothing but positive responses from just DM messages from friends, family, to Facebook comments, Instagram comments. Everything that we're getting from this stuff that we're posting is really making me happy. I don't know what to talk about the other guys, but really
don't
makes...
get to say.
Yeah. But I think everything that we've gotten so far has been absolutely positive, so I'm really excited to release the album.
Great.
Yeah, basically totally agree with what Jake said. Everything I've gotten back personally has been really positive. And I'm also really excited for people to hear what we've been working on.
Yeah, same. I'm really excited. Like, I'm super proud of the songs. I'm really happy to finally kind of be in a position where I'm doing songs like this. Like I love all my other projects, and I couldn't be more proud of them. But I always wanted to do something that was in this kind of vein of the Bay Area sound mixed with some of the more melodic stuff. So I'm really excited to be doing it, and now to have an album that does that sound. So it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, based on just the production alone, I mean, I'm excited to have an album that releases that has this type of production, that's gonna showcase exactly what we're supposed to sound like. You know what I mean?
So based on all the excitement I hear, will this continue as a full-time, part-time project? What's the prediction?
Oh yeah.
Full-time project.
Yeah.
We've already got a lot of songs in the hopper. So
big old full-time.
We've got we joke around. We have a 3-year plan for the band, so we're not going anywhere. Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
Spreadsheets. We got spreadsheets.
So we got a lot of riffs. So yeah, we'll be around for a while. Like I said, we're looking to play as much as possible around the area.
And out of the area.
Yeah, out of the area,
everywhere.
shows, fests. Things have kind of come back in full force, so we're excited. And we're looking for any opportunities we can. So we're definitely excited to get out there.
Finally, provided that all of you are not newcomers into the scene, what would you say is the most unique thing about this band?
Honestly, I would say the most unique thing is that what Jason was saying earlier is that we don't pigeonhole ourselves to just one genre. I think we take the things of from progressive metal to traditional heavy metal, thrash, power metal, even a little bit of the death metal stuff in there for certain riffs and stuff that kind of put all together to make this hodgepodge of greatness, I like to call it. So I can't talk enough about how much I love the band, but I really think we're running and creating our own sound. You can't listen to this. You can listen to a song and be like, oh, that part kind of sounds like this, or this part kind of sounds like this. But I think when you listen to the whole album, you're like, oh, this is Idle Throne. This isn't Iron Maiden 2, or they're trying to be Metallica or trying to do this. This is Idle Throne, and that's the most important thing to me, is our own identity.
Yeah, pretty much, again, exactly what you just said. I've always said, when people ask me what is Idle Throne as far as a metal subgenre, I'm like, I don't know. It's metal, because we kind of encapsulate all these different sounds, and because of that, I'm like, I don't really think we kind of are carving out our own sound. So that makes me really excited, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so I won't take these guys' answers. So to me, I think what really makes this band special, or one of the things that makes it special, is the chemistry between the four of us. And then, our bassist Trevor is in here tonight. Our friend Alex is filling in and helping us out, which is awesome. We appreciate it. He also actually recorded the bass on the record, so it's kind of cool he's here tonight with us. But yeah, it's cool. Like, we were all friends before we played in bands together. Like we all knew each other. We all grew up around the same area. We were kind of in the scene. So it's cool that, we have that communication, and we're very honest with each other as far as what's cool, what works, what doesn't, that type of thing. And I feel like it's cool. It's cool when you can be in a band with your friends and you can hang out. And Wraith is very much the same way for me. Like, we're all buddies first, and then we play music. So I feel like that makes everyone that much more invested, because it's not a job. It's fun. We enjoy it. So doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think the only other thing would just be that the way that we write the different genres into these songs, from front to back, whether we play a set live, whether you're listening to the album, whatever, they all flow. It's all got its place. It's all, it's not just like hard stop, like, and now we're in a completely different, it all makes sense. It all stems back to our core sound of branching out to all these different little subgenres of metal. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
Mark.